No.
Speechgate.
No. It's just like Obama. You'll never find his fingerprints on anything.
No, I'm saying, but you're saying that he is behind it.
I'm saying that he doesn't need to say to the CEO of Fox, do this.
Yeah, but
the CEO of Fox will be, all right.
But you're saying that the connection mattered. I'm saying the connection doesn't matter because Cruz didn't say, Trump's a bum. He said, New Yorkers are bums.
Okay. And if Fox News is New York.
Well, yeah, but
this would have to go all the way to the CEO, though.
The people that work for Fox News who are in charge of all of the wiring up of everything, they all live in New York.
Hey, what's wrong with that mic? I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me.
I can hear him.
Oh, can you hear him? I can hear him.
All right. Doesn't sound right, though.
Well, does he ever sound right?
That's the way he always sounds.
That's always the way he says.
But it sounds like I hear people eating and discussing chit chat.
Somebody just burped.
There's small talk. I hear small talk.
Oh yeah,
that's because nobody wants to hear him.
Well, that's what Rush said. That the news outlets were just playing it off. Nobody wanted to listen.
They were in on it.
Yes.
Well, hold on. I'm not saying. Well, okay.
No, they said that he was so boring that everybody tuned him out to eat their food.
Rush tried to make the argument that these journalists are coming out and saying that because they're in on it. However, there was a journalist in an interview that he played who clearly she's a Cruz supporter.
Okay, what did she say? What did she say?
She said, "Well, it wasn't his best speech, but he's trying."
Oh,
he's trying. I know it didn't sound the best, but he'll come back and give it another college try later. Something to that effect, which means she wasn't even. Like she was playing to the narrative, not realizing that the whole thing was a setup.
Wow.
So I don't think that Trump needed to be. Not only did he not need to be behind it, but I don't even think that he needed to have any connection with any of these people because the damage was done when he said that we don't want New York values in the White House.
You know what New York value? Whoa, are you from New York? Oh, well then you probably don't know what I'm about ready to tell you.
Yikes.
You are. I'm going to tell you who you are. You don't even know. Yeah.
So he doubled down on it.
He did, right to the moderator.
He's good at doubling down, which is why, here's the thing about Wyoming. They should have, the GOP should have said, dude, we cannot afford to have another Colorado. Let's throw Trump a couple bones. We'll give 12 delegates to Cruz, and we'll give 2 to Trump because we cannot afford to have Trump win again.
And it didn't
because he won. He won resoundingly. The amount of delegates that he lost by not going to battle in those 2 states, he is going to make up for in spades.
You're talking 14 in Wyoming, which is insignificant.
But he didn't lose 14. Because if he fought 4 delegates, maybe he was only going to get 5. So he actually maybe only lost 5.
Oh, right. Okay,
now, Colorado's a little different because that's 37 delegates total, 34 of which are accounted for now,
right,
which are all for Cruz. He could have got maybe 12 or maybe 15. Maybe not 15, but certainly 11 or 12. So he loses 11 or 12 in Colorado. He loses another 5 max in Wyoming.
To gain 97.
Yeah, he could
and
gain,
possibly
he could
more.
Gain a lot. He could have sewn up. He could have just won the nomination by letting this happen.
Wow.
That's the genius of Donald Trump.
Do you think he's that good?
I think he sewed it up.
Well,
in hindsight, yes. But if you had told me that that's what he was going to try to pull off, I'd be like, dude, that sounds like swinging for the fences. It sounds like you're going to strike out. That's what I would have thought. And, I'm no dummy.
Yeah, I'd have to back up. So I think that Ted Cruz is definitely his persona, his character, the things that make him him, that are ingrained in him. he is going to continue down the same road and never realize that Trump got him.
Well, because it's all about character.
Well,
character is what you do.
Right. Well, but
even when nobody's looking.
Right. Remember we talked about that one when he was a Solicitor General.
Oh, right.
And he all the way to the Supreme Court to keep a guy in prison for 16 years for stealing a calculator from Walmart, which should have only been less than a year or two. He asked for time served at 2 years. Cruz said, hell no, you're doing all 16. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court then told Ted Cruz, hey,
that's a great analogy.
Are they not allowed to admit error in your state? The Supreme Court let the guy out after 6 years, not Ted Cruz.
So he isn't undefeated like they say. They say he's undefeated in court.
Is that a loss?
If the Supreme Court came down and said, whoa, dude, what? Well, if Ted Cruz wasn't actually presiding in that case, or not presiding, but
when they did let him out, he might not have been presiding.
That would be like taking the Super Bowl away from the
Patriots.
Yes,
to Brady.
They should have.
No, I'm all right with Brady.
But they should have taken the Super Bowl away.
No. So you got to catch it before it happens, or the day that it happens. You can't go retroactive.
They measured the balls afterwards.
It's not my problem. The NFL should have been on top of them balls.
They're never on balls.
Well, if they created Ballgate, and it didn't have to be that. They should have maintained their own balls, their own size, the proper density, and it's got to be just the right. That's the NFL's job. If they give the balls to the players to play with before the show and during the show, come on. Joe Montana did it back in the day.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did.
No, he didn't, but his runner-up, Steve, did.
Well, all right. So it's a good analogy, the thing with him a violation of the spirit of the law is what Cruz is guilty of because he wanted to win and he needed to win. He couldn't yield to doing the right thing because it would cause him to suffer a loss. Winning was more important than doing the right thing.
So how about this article from Breitbart? This kind of goes along with what we're saying. I set this up. This article from Breitbart this week. At a time for truth, Senator Ted Cruz profoundly chronicles his days as a Texas Solicitor General, a post he held from 2003 to 2008, bolstering his conservative creed. The Republican presidential candidate notes that during his stint as a state's chief lawyer before the Supreme Court and federal state appellate courts, he defended the inclusion of under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, the display of the Ten Commandments on the grounds of the state capitol, a congressional redistricting plan that assisted Republicans, a restrictive voter ID law, and a ban on late-term abortions. He also described cases in which he championed gun rights and defended the convictions of a Mexican citizen who raped and murdered 2 teen girls in a case challenged by the World Court. Yet, one case he failed to mention in his book, that he helped defend a law that criminalized the sale of dildos.
Criminalize the sale of dildos.
You have no, and the article goes on and on. You have no right under the Constitution to pleasure your genitals. That's what he argued. There is no right in the Constitution for that to be true.
Yeah, but if you the Roe v. Wade was all about privacy.
Right. You would think.
So you're allowed to reach down in there to murder a baby, but you better not be pleasuring yourself.
Yeah, don't do that.
In the process.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So, wow.
He took this all the way to the Supreme Court and argued that, no, this ban needs to stay in place.
Well, you're actually bolstering his argument that he's so religious, and all of his supporters.
No.
Religious.
I'm not saying he's religious. I'm saying he's a nut job.
Well, nobody's arguing that.
Dude, that's but that's kooky. Why would you? Okay, I know you've got to win every single case. I understand this. But why would you take up that one?
Yeah, you shouldn't have taken it on.
You should pass that off to a junior
To somebody
colleague.
that somebody doesn't mind losing.
Right.
Like, I got to defend this.
And why would you? The sale of a product that doesn't. I mean, okay, so let's talk about it for a minute. Capitalism. Selling of tobacco and alcohol. Tobacco, yes, obviously causes cancer. Too much alcohol can cause cancer. However, I'm not talking about those right now. I'm talking about the sale of alarm clocks, the sale of desktop materials, pens and pencils, just the sale of a car, the sale of toys.
What kind of toys?
Whatever toy you wish. Why is the government involved in banning what the people want to buy? If there's a market for it, why would you ban that?
Well, like you started out, if you can prove that it causes harm in some way.
Correct.
Okay.
Like, if they're selling cereal that, I don't know, cuts the roof of your mouth when you eat it like honeycomb. It's just like, I mean, okay, we've got to do something about that. Maybe not ban it, but certainly maybe have the Attorney General address.
Is that why that cereal Cyanide Smacks is no longer on the shelf?
Right. Right. I mean, well, look at Chipotle.
Oh, right.
Okay, they're selling something that literally is on the verge of killing people. Okay. In California, though, only in California.
Oh, it's only killing people in California?
Only California.
Oh, well, there's no toilet paper out in the field, so you got to use the lettuce leaves.
Or if you're Muslim, you use nothing but your hand.
Okay,
right.
you use your hand, and then you go and you don't wash your hand, and you go pick some stuff again.
Okay, so the AG, the Attorney General in California, got involved to bring this to light, to do whatever sanctions. Stop. Yeah. Okay. The Attorney General getting involved in the sale of adult toys?
Seems kind of weird.
And to take it to the hilt so you don't lose. I'm saying this is his MO. This is how he rolls.
I don't understand. Did they really say that there's no place in the Constitution that allows for...
Correct.
That is the most
correct
misrepresentation of the Constitution I've ever heard. It should be that there's nothing in the Constitution that allows for the government to ban the sale of a perfectly harmless product.
Correct.
That's what he should have argued.
And if he says that...
He was on the wrong side of that.
Well, if he's coming at it, and I know we have a lot of Christians that listen. I'm a Christian as well. I'm not going to tell you what to do inside your bedroom, and certainly don't tell me what to do. But if he's coming at this from a Christian standpoint of view, a religious standpoint of view, as the AG, I think that's wrong. To say my church wouldn't allow this, my religion doesn't allow this, so
we shouldn't allow anybody,
right?
Including all the atheists and all that,
Muslims, whoever. Yeah. So if you got a Muslim AG that says my religion says that woman must be dead,
so he has no argument against Sharia law now.
Probably not,
because if a guy who wants to be Sharia compliant had the power and skills that he did,
yes,
in his position,
yes,
that he should rightfully win his cases that are pushing for Sharia.
Correct.
He has no argument against that because he pretty much did that with the banning of
adult toys,
selling of adult toys,
dildos. Yeah,
specifically dildos, not just adult toys.
Not
in
handcuffs,
general.
not chains and things. No, none of that. Because you get that at Home Depot.
Right. You don't want to ban chains. Although mine are heat treated.
Whoa! Wow! You're not breaking them.
Right. Because sometimes, you got to be a little rough with them. Wow. I'm not using it for what you think.
Jelly
What?
Safe word.